Good evening. Turn on your video. Yukta and Rohit, you also need to turn on your video. Okay, I can see Yukta. Rohit, turn on your video. Okay, Pranav, what we did in the last class?
Ma'am, we discussed about cell and some scientists who discovered cells.
Correct. Okay. So, Yukta, who discovered cell and in which year?
Yes, ma'am.
Who discovered cell and in which year?
Ma'am, the dead cell was discovered by Robert Hooke in the year 1665.
Very good. Pranav and Rohit, turn on your video. Why it is off? The video should not be off actually in between. Okay. Now today we'll be discussing about the cell theory. I think cell theory we did not discuss, right, till now? Have we started discussing for cell theory?
Ma'am, we were discussing the table of all the scientists, right?
Okay. So now we will be starting with the cell theory. So in the scientist we have discussed about okay. Now when we talk about the scientist, we already know that Robert Hooke, what he did, he discovered the cell. But did he discover the living cell or dead cells?
Ma'am, dead cell.
Ma'am, dead cell.
Dead cells, right? He discovered
Ma'am,
the
dead cell
dead
in a
cells,
tree, from a tree's bark, right?
right? From the cork part, which is basically the part of the bark of a tree. So from that part, he discovered the cell. But what happened? He discovered the dead cell. That is why the next scientist then he came, the scientist known as the A.V. Liu Van Hawk. So he came in the year 1674 and he discovered the first living cell. So from where he discovered the first living cell?
Ma'am, pond water.
Very good. From the pond water, he discovered the living cell. So when he took the drop of water into his lab, he got to know that he was able to see that something was moving. And then he named them as actually the living cells. So that is how it was discovered. Then later on, what happened? One more scientist came. His name is Purkinje. So Purkinje basically he gave the term as protoplasm. What name he has given? He has given the word protoplasm. Okay, this protoplasm is basically made up of two components, cytoplasm and nucleus. So when we talk about cytoplasm and nucleus together, then we call it them as the protoplasm. So if in the exam it comes protoplasm is equal to dash plus dash. What will be your answer?
Ma'am, cytoplasm plus nucleus.
Cytoplasm plus nucleus.
Yes, correct. Fine. So protoplasm is basically the component of two, which are the cytoplasm and nucleus. And they both are what they are, the living components of the cell. So since nucleus and cytoplasm both are living component of cell, that is why protoplasm is also the living components of the cell. Talking about the definition of protoplasm, you all should know it very clearly and write it down also at the same time. Protoplasm is an Aggregate. What do you mean by aggregate? What is the meaning of aggregate?
Ma'am, combine.
Very good. Combine. Fine. So protoplasm is an aggregate of various chemicals. It is an aggregation of various chemicals. Now, which all chemicals it includes? Such as water.
Cytoplasm and nucleus.
Yeah, it includes two components, but the chemicals it has are the water, ions, salts, proteins, then carbohydrates, then fats, then vitamins. So all these are basically what they are, the aggregation of the chemicals which are there in the protoplasm. So if we have to define the protoplasm, protoplasm is an aggregate of various chemicals such as the water, iron, salt, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, etc. Clear?
Ma'am,
Yeah, tell me.
can you once move the slide up?
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
welcome.
Ma'am, can you mind show the AV Leumann hook? I
Yeah.
forgot. Yes, ma'am.
A dot V, Leeuwenhoek. Leeu, Leu, 1, Ven, when, Hoek, Hoek.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you once more explain how we found the first living
Are
cell?
we- Yeah, okay. So first living cell, what happened actually? This person, Anthony Van Leeuwenhoek, he was sitting near to the pond water, and he was actually, very eager to see the thing. What he did, he just took a drop of the water and he took that water into his lab actually. So he thought, okay, let me see what is there inside. Something is there, I can see in the water or not. So then he saw that in the water, something was moving, and that is how he discovered the living cell.
Mhm.
So, and those things were nothing but the amoeba. So, amoebas were moving in the water.
Yes, ma'am.
Sampath and Jitendra, Harshit, your videos are off. Kindly turn on. Should not turn off the video again and again, children. So that is how the discovery of the cell was there. And then the Robert Brown also. Robert Brown, what he did?
Ma'am, he coined the term nucleus. He
Very good.
found
He actually
nucleus.
discovered the nucleus. He discovered the nucleus. So these all are names you should know. First of all is Robert Hooke. Second is Anthony Van Leeuwenhoek. Then a third one is Purkinje, who discovered the protoplasm, who coined the term protoplasm. And the last one is the Robert Brown. So Robert Brown, the last scientist, he was a Robert Brown who discovered nucleus. So nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown in the year 1831. Fine. So that is how the discovery of the nucleus was there. What he discovered? He discovered the nucleus. Shall we go for the next topic now, children? If it is done,
Yes, ma'am.
any doubt? Any one of you have? Jitendra, Rohit, Yukta, Sampath, Pranav? Any doubt you
No,
have
ma'am.
till here? No.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll go for the next topic, which is very important topic, children. First of all, let me explain and then you can write. Okay, I'll give you some 2 to 3 minutes to write. Cell theory. So, cell theory is very important part. As a, grade 9 children, you should know what is cell theory because this cell theory will be helping in the grade 10 also, 11 also, and so on also. So, cell theory is basically a kind of theory which was given by two scientists. So two scientists were there who gave this theory. Their names are Shelidian and
Swan.
Schwann. Fine, Shelidian and Schwann in the year 1838, he gave the theory. And this theory basically, what it includes? It includes the postulates. Do you know the meaning of postulates? What it is? What it means?
Ma'am, points.
Very good. Nothing but the point. So he gave 2 points. So in grade 9, they will not be giving you the very simple point, right? They will not be directly asking you to write 2 points related to cell theory. What do? They change the question and they say that enlist the postulates of cell theory. So question will be changed into a little different terms and it becomes enlist the postulates of cell theory. And in very simple language, what will be the answer? If I want to convert into simple language, this question, how I will be converting it?
What are the points listed in cell theory?
Enlist means to write down actually, okay? So to write down the points of cell theory. Yeah? Enlist means to write down. So to write down these points of the cell theory. So 2 points are there. The first point is all plants and animals are made up of cells. All plants and animals are composed of cells, or we can say they are made up of cells. Composed means they are made up of. So this was the first postulate, or this was the first point related to it. So all plants and animals are composed of cells. And in the second point, he said that cell is the basic unit of life. This I think already we know it, why it is the basic unit of life. So these 2 points were given by them, Shelidian and Schwann. They said in the first point that both plants and animals, they are made up of cells. And in the second point, they said that cell is the basic unit of life. But what happens is like later on, one more scientist, he came and he added one more point to it. And the name of the scientist who added one more point, what he added is he added that all cell arise from pre-existing cells. So all cell arise from pre-existing cells. What do you mean by pre-existing cell? Pre-existing?
Already present.
I'm already present.
Very good. Correct. So those cells which are already there, from them they will be multiplying or they will be dividing. And this virtue, actually the third point of virtue is also called as the expansion of cell theory. What it is called as expansion of cell theory. So total 3 points were there. 2 points were given by the Shelidian and Schwann. Later on, the third point was added by whom? By the Virchow, where he said that the all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Now, can anyone you give me the example? How can we say that the cell arise from the pre-existing ones? How can we say that the cell arise from pre-existing ones? Is there any example? Yeah, tell me, Yukta.
Ma'am, through cell division, what happens is cell gets divided into two more other cells. So from pre-existing cell, one cell gets divided to form more two cells.
Correct. Very, very good. Correct. Yes, I should go ahead.
Ma'am, it can be seen mostly in cancer cells.
Very good. Okay. So cancerous cells also they have what from the old cells? What do? They multiply and they increases the number. Correct. Then same thing happen in the red blood cells. Whatever cells we have in our body, anyhow, some of them they will die, and from them the new one will occur. The very basic example you might have seen in and around you is like someone getting pregnant, right? So if someone is getting pregnant, what is happening in their body? So from the body of the mother, one new child will be born, right? So how it is formed? How the child is formed? The child is formed because of the mother and the father only, right? So in the mother body, what was there? The egg was there. In the father's body, the sperm was there. So what the father did, the father has transferred those sperm to the mother's body, right? Now those two type of cell, one was from the mother and the second was from the father. So when in mother's body, those two cells they combined, what they formed after combination of both the things,
Ma'am,
Zygote.
they form the
fertilized egg.
fertilization happen, and after fertilization they form the zygote. That
Yes, ma'am.
zygote will keep on divide, and what do they form?
Dividing embryo.
Ma'am,
Very good. They form the embryo, right? And that embryo now will keep on dividing and will form the whole body of the child. Correct? So it is like from the mother cell and from the father cell, the new cell was arise, and the cell was the zygote there. Fine, the new cell was a zygote, and the old cell was the mother cell and the father's sperm. So that is how we can say that the cell arise from the pre-existing cells. So if in the exam they ask you for the example, so these examples you can write about it. Clear, children? Now we'll go for the next one. Or you can write first of all this one. This theory just complete it in your copy, and then we'll be moving forward. So I'll share from the cell theory, okay? So start writing. Done, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So write down these points. Now the next one are the differences between the unicellular and the multicellular organ. I hope you are aware what are those, right? So can you tell me any two examples of two points of each unicellular and multicellular? Yeah, Sampath.
Ma'am, bacteria, blue-green algae, ma'am, amoeba, and for multicellular we have mushrooms, that is fungi, and also we humans are also made up of multicellular.
Correct. Jitendra, add some more points to it now. He has added the example. You can tell me the difference now. Difference between unicellular and multicellular. Jitendra,
Ma'am, unicellular has only one cell.
correct.
Multicellular has many cells.
Okay. Yukta, you want to just change the sentence what he said now? He has said has one cell and has many cells. Who has actually?
So basically the organisms which are unicellular are made up of one cell, whereas the organisms which are which are multicellular are made up of many cells which perform different functions.
Correct. So this is the way actually, when you are saying the any example or any kind of thing, you should say in a complete way. So if you are saying only one cell, then what it means? Who has only one cell? Either they are made up of, or either they have only one cell. So those organisms who are made up of only one cell, they are called as a unicellular. And those who are made up of more than one cell, they are called as a multicellular. Any other difference do you know apart from these two examples and these definition? Any other difference between these two? Think, children, think something. You already
Ma'am,
know it.
in
Just only you need. Hmm.
ma'am, in
Hmm.
unicellular organism, the the cell completely functions for the organism to live, whereas in multicellular, different cells have to be combined to function.
Very good, Sampath. So, in a very simple language, we can say that each and every function in unicellular will be performed by how many cells? Only one, right? Whereas in the multicellular, those different functions will be performed by the different types of the cell. Like we have the RBC, WBC, nerve cell, muscle cell. So these all are what? These all I have the different types of the cells. Fine. Then apart from that, what do you mean by division of labor? Division of labor. Have you ever heard this word division of labor? Okay, Yukta is saying yes, she has heard. Tell me, Yukta.
Division of labor is basically where you divide work for like different cells divided with different work. Like in human bodies, each cell has different work to do. Like nerve cells have to carry the blood, whereas the blood
Nerves will
cells,
carry the messages.
sorry, the messages, the blood cells have to carry all the blood and so on.
Very good, Yukta. Very good. Right. So division means to divide, right? Labor means the kind of work. So you might have seen if you want to construct a home, what you will be doing? You will not be giving only whole work to one person. You will be dividing the work, right? You will be asking the architecture to set up a kind of infrastructure, a design kind of layout. They will be giving it to you. Then might be to a person you will be giving the work to get the cement and bricks and all. Then to the other person you will be giving the interior designing work. So like this, you are dividing the work. Same way in the body of the organism, what happens? If only one cell is there, then there will be no division because one cell has to perform each and everything, whatever is there. Whereas in the multicellular, like in us, in humans, or in the other animals like dogs and all, there are so many cells. Now, what they have to do, they have to divide their own works. So, if I have the nerve cell in my body, so all the nerve cells will be doing only one function, that is to transfer the messages. Same way, RBC red blood cell, what they will be doing? They will be carrying or transporting the gases like the O2, right? Now, since these all types of cells are working according to their division of work, that is why our brain is working properly. Otherwise, what happens? If my hand is working, legs are working in the same way, will I be able to move? No, right? I will not be able to move. My hand is holding, my legs also started holding something. Can I move then? No. So that is why it is important that each and every cell should perform their own function. And since they are performing their own function, that is why our brain is under the control and coordination, right? The whole body is coordinated by whom? By the brain. Clear? So division as labor is not seen in the unicellular, but yes, multicellular organisms, they have the division of labor to make their work easy and to have the coordination among themselves. So let us write now. Okay. Now, here, 3 columns you have to make. The heading will be organism type, or you can say number of cells. Type on the basis of number of cells. Okay. The first column will be characteristics. The second column will be unicellular. Okay, here it will be unicellular organism. And in the third one, it is multicellular organism. Clear? So like this table you need to make. The first one, the first characteristic is the cell number. So in the unicellular, we know very well how many are there. Only single cell. Whereas in the multicellular, there will be many number of cells, or we can say large number of cells. The second point is function. So unicellular, all functions are performed by a single cell. So whatever the function is there, be it respiration, be it excretion, be it digestion. So each and everything will be done by only single cell. As like amoeba. In the amoeba, everything they are doing by the help of only one cell. Whereas in the multicellular, different cells perform different specific functions. So they will be dividing their work and then they will be doing that particular function. Then in the third one, third category, division of labor. So where we can see the division of labor? Only in the
And only
multicellular.
multicellular.
Very good, Rohit. So they here not perform. So these unicellular, they do not perform the division of labor. Whereas here they perform division of labor. So they divide the work among themselves. DOL here means division of labor. Okay, I have written the short form. Now here reproduction. The next point is reproduction. So in the case of the unicellular, with the help of only single cells, they need to do it. So it involves the same single cell. So whatever cell is present, so that they will be multiplying it or they will be dividing their body themselves, and that is how the reproduction will be occurring. Whereas in the multicellular, what do they have? They have a specialized germ cells. Germ cells means sex cells, okay? The cells which are involved in the sex, those are called as the germ cells. So in the multicellular, specialized germ cells take part in reproduction. So they will be helping in reproduction process. Then the next one are the lifespan. So when we talk about the lifespan of the unicellular, it is short. So they do not live for the long time and all. Whereas in the multicellular, they have the long lifespan. They live long. Then the next one are the examples of both. So examples, coming to the examples. Amoeba, unicellular amoeba. Then paramecium. Then bacteria. And so many other. Whereas here, again, so many, any 2, 3, 4, you can write whatever you are aware. So am I clear, children, with this topic now?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, just note it down. So these are, now that you should increase your learning capability. So we know one difference, only one cell and more than one cell. Though we are aware the other differences also, but we should know how to implement. Like Yukta knows division of labor. So, but she was not aware that how to implement in this case. But later on, she recognized, okay, so this was also the major point. So like this, now you should think how we can correlate these topics with this topic. Done with this page?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll go to the next page. And write in the same way, okay? Because it will be easy for you to then learn and then understand. Because science does not require you, paragraph writing and all. It requires only simple and the main keyword should be there. Done, children? Yes, children, done? Rohit, Harshit, Yukta, Sampath,
Right.
done?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, next topic. I think now you have heard the word prokaryote. Jitendra, Sampath, and Yukta, turn on your video. And Harshit, bhai, your video is not coming.
Yes,
Something
ma'am.
dark
Sorry.
is coming. Okay, no problem. So, have you ever heard the word eukaryotic and prokaryotic? Yes, student.
Ma'am, I have heard, but I have forgotten the definition.
No problem. Whatever you know, you can tell me.
Ma'am, eukaryotic are single cells and prokaryotic are many.
No.
Ma'am,
Sampath.
ma'am,
Okay, tell me, Harshit, yeah.
ma'am, eukaryotic cells are cells which have nucleus and prokaryotic do not have
Very good,
nucleus.
Harshit. Very good, Harshit. So prokaryotic, they are basically those organisms who does not have the well-defined nucleus. And the eukaryotic, they will have the well-defined nucleus. So I'll just, we'll have the discussion about this now. Just give me- Do you know what is the meaning of eu and what is the meaning of prokaryotic? So what is the prokaryotic? So from what is the meaning of pro and what is the meaning of eu?
Ma'am, is it primitive cell?
Very good. And what is the meaning of eu? EUE.
Ma'am, developed.
Very good, Sampath. Yes. So, see, if we are saying they do not have the well-defined nucleus and they have the well-defined nucleus. So it means here whatever the nucleus is there, they are very primitive. Primitive means old kind. Okay. And whereas when we talk about the other hand, they have the developed nucleus, like we. So we all have what? We all have the developed nucleus in our body. So let us see, first of all, the name actually. What does they denote? Okay. Now, we'll see the name first of all. So, prokaryotic. Prokaryotic has derived from two words, pro and carrion. Karyotic is from basically the word carry on. Okay. Pro and then karyotic is a word derived from the carry on. Pro means primitive or it is also the old. Whereas carry on means nucleus. Fine. Primitive nucleus or we can say old nucleus. Whereas when we talk about eukaryotic, U means advanced or we can say new. And again, the karyotic word is being derived from the word carry on. And this means nucleus. So eukaryotic, what do they have? They have the advanced nucleus in them. So those organisms who have advanced nucleus in them, they are called as eukaryotic. And if they have primitive nucleus, then we call them as the prokaryotic. Clear, children? So pro means primitive or old, and karyotic is a word derived from the karyon, which means the nucleus. Primitive nucleus, and in the case of eukaryotic, advanced nucleus. Clear, children? Note it down.
Ma'am, can you give examples of both?
Okay, prokaryotic is bacteria. The bacteria, what do they have? They do not have the developed nucleus, right? So that is example of what? Prokaryotic. Whereas eukaryotic, we humans, the other animals also. So what they are? They are the eukaryotic since they all have the developed nucleus in them.
Ma'am, will amoeba come under prokaryotic or
Yes,
eukaryotic?
prokaryotic, prokaryotic. So children, in the next class, we will be discussing in a detail about the differences, first of Actually, I think I was locked out because of network problem. Yeah, Harshit, did you ask something?
Ma'am, I was asking that nothing, ma'am. Actually, I thought the network issue was from my side.
Okay, no. From my side, I think it was the network problem. Okay, no, never mind, children. Tomorrow we'll meet again. And then we'll be discussing about learn whatever we did it properly, and then try to find out the difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic as well. Okay. Okay, children. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.